With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges, completed and uncompleted projects, bad roads, water scarcity, erosion, flooding, insecurity, or even disagreements? Bring it on to Southeast News. On Southeast News, no story is too big or too small. Southeast News. Let's tell our story. Showing on Signature TV every weekday at 4 p.m. WAT, 1600 hours GMT.
Yes, I am in a state that is making serious preparations for elections come November 2025, 8th November to be exact. A election is about who the cap fits. The election is about how Anambra State should be governed. The election is about what the electorate will say. The election is about how to turn things around. But before that, right now, people are registering. There is this voters registration going on. And when people thought it was over, INEC extended it till Sunday. So we'll start our conversations from that point and we'll roll along Anambra State and see what it reveals. And so let me go to my guest who is in Anambra. He's none other than Dr. Dennis Ekemeze. Good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon, sir. My friend.
Dennis is very loyal, Abi. Dennis is a research fellow and he has a whole lot of other things doing. Now, we talked about this continuous voters registration even before it took off. We also talked about what the electorate should be thinking about before saying they want to cast their vote. We also talked about what politicians should be saying that will resonate with the electorate in terms of even going as far as having a people's charter, so to speak, with the various communities. So, Dennis, where are we now?
We are now in Anambra precisely. And in Anambra, as you said, we are preparing for governorship election come November 8th. And INEC discharging its responsibility. Part of it is registration of or review of voters in Anambra State to update those young ones who have turned 18, those who have transferred from other states, or those who will transfer to the nearest polling booth in their respective constituencies. So you can see that that registration of voters is very important, very critical, because without registration, of course, there won't be accreditation of voters, and that's why it's very important. And I want to thank INEC leadership, especially for extending the date to next Sunday, which is a very appetizing step. And I use this opportunity also to urge our people in the Anambra, those who have not registered, those who have not updated their registration, to please to go and do it. And I must tell you, I was so much impressed when I monitored the registration website, and I saw young people coming out requesting to be registered. And the line, the queue, what impressed me so much is the orderliness. It's no longer struggle. there wasn't so much apathy, and I must also commend the INEC for sticking to time and then sticking to, although at times when it's 3 o'clock, what do you call it, the server will go off because it's time. And when people started complaining when I was around, I said, no, this thing is programmed by 3 o'clock. And it's part of why they extended it to Sunday, and I'm so glad. Let me be frank with you, registration is going on very well. And importantly too, the political parties are mobilized. Of course, it's part of responsibility of political parties to mobilize. And you recall that we are saying what stakeholders and what? Remind me, stakeholders and the structure owners.
Structure owners, yes.
You cannot see the tripartite arrangement, even community leaders. So it's very important, and part of my gladness is that the job we did when we were mobilizing in Mamsa and in Noah, of course you are part of us now, that is now yielding fruit for people to be conscious to go and register. I think it's an impressive thing.
Yeah, but I also do think that enough enlightenment was not given, and that's why you find people complain after 3 o'clock that the BVAS was not working, because if there was enough enlightenment, it would have been easy for people to understand that once it's 3 o'clock, the server will shut down. But the good news is that more women have registered, and this new rate of continuous voters registration, 58% of those who have registered are women. And there is also a large number of youths between age of 18 and 36 that have also registered in Anambra State. So we're looking forward to a more robust and enlightened electorate participating in the election this year. I am very certain that by the end of Sunday, we should have the total number of new people who registered to vote this year for the first time. Now, Dennis, looking at the situation on ground, it does appear as if the structure owners and the stakeholders and the political parties and candidates themselves are coming out rather slowly. Why is that so?
You said what?
The structure owners, the stakeholders, the political parties, and even the candidates themselves are coming out rather slowly. I was thinking that once INEC says it's time for campaigns to begin, you'll begin to really see political activity taking the front banner. But it doesn't appear to look that way.
Well, maybe some of them are usually waiting for the time. But I know that there's this strategy of snake campaigning. And I know also that there are this method of reaching out.
Just hold it, guys. What do you mean by snake campaigning?
Snake campaign, you know how snake meander now. So you don't come out so certainly forward. Of course, somebody said that he was doing what? Advocacy. He was consulting. That's part of person-to-person mobilization campaign process or strategy. And of course, I remember yesterday I saw some group also who are now visiting markets, trying to mobilize the market people as part of that campaign. Each party applies the strategy it wants to reach the people. But the bottom line is that when the time comes, some wait at the nick of the time. And of course, as you normally say, when we reach the bridge, you know how to cross it.
Which bridge do you want to cross now?
The bridge that will lead you to election. You either fly through the flyover or you go under the bridge. I think that is the strategy you want to adopt. Election is still not too far. It is far. The people are still being mobilized. And then importantly is that people are being mobilized through their the first model of mobilization campaign. I think that is what I have observed.
Now, from your standpoint, you talked about INEC mobilizing. You talked about people engaging in advocacy, especially CSOs and all that. But I didn't hear you talk about one group whose role should be that of mobilizing people, and that's NOA. What are we missing at this point?
Well, I think maybe because from the situation on the ground, I think INEC has a department or unit that is in charge of mobilization. I think that is it. And the question is it anyway given the authority by INEC to mobilize? And importantly, did INEC release the funds for anyway to mobilize? You see, there are different, what do you call it?
Inter-agency cooperation.
Relationship. Yes. So it depends on the coordination and then synergy being formed. If NOA is not invited to come and do mobilization, would they absorb it? Then they're not. So it revolves whether INEC wants NOA to do the job of mobilization or their unit that they use to mobilize the people.
All right. Now, I have a little difficulty because the next question I wanted to ask you is some of the issues that have been thrown up during the campaign. Unfortunately, the campaign is not on stream the way it should be. Well, probably too, because you are in Anambra, some of these issues may have been raised. Issues such as flooding, how government can tackle it. Are there any campaign issues revolving on how to tackle flooding, how to tackle erosion? Do we have campaign issues revolving around those subjects?
Yes, I think the critical major issues management in this situation is, as you rightly said, erosion. And I won't mention names because of not to be accused of being partisan. I know one or two political party candidates have already said this will be our roadmap to tackle erosion in Anambra State. This is our roadmap to tackle a strategy to tackle insecurity. And then what do you call it? Economic development of Anambra State. And of course, now the major issue, as you have noted, is women inclusiveness. How do you include inject more women into governance? How do you inject more youth into governance? And then physically challenged people. I think these are the bigger issues coming out, and I do hear from those campaigns. I think in time those areas were not accommodated, properly accommodated. Two action questions by the electorate and then by the media.
Yes, from everything I'm getting, the feelers I'm getting, it does appear as if the media is still engaged in watch and see.
Well, that's right. That's what I said, that everybody needs to step up. And of course, as we know, some may be delayed. Maybe time will come when we'll have a better opportunity to engage the candidates. Of course, you remember in the past that there were these, what do you call it, humanitarian debates and others. Maybe it will also help if there's going to be one or anything is going to be conducted. For now, I don't think the media is so much active in questioning the candidate and then what they want to say to the people of Anambra. I think there's a little gap here. You are right. I think you are right.
Well, I think the gap is becoming like a gulf. Why did I say that? I say the gap is becoming like a gulf because the media is supposed to set the agenda. And I raised just two issues. I talked about flooding and erosion. And you went on to talk about inclusivity. You talked about engaging the women folk. You talked about youth. You talked about so many other issues. The media should be in the forefront, raising these issues so that the candidates will understand what the people are saying before they begin to even say, this is our roadmap for A, B, C, or D. So why is it that the media is not in the front row.
Yes, I hope you will remember that there is now what you call citizen journalism. And of course, you know that most political parties are now engaged in citizen journalism, having their own, what do you call it, bloggers, their social influencers, and others. And you may remember that most of them, for now, may not engage traditional media because it's expensive to manage media campaign now. It's really expensive. So maybe they are waiting towards the end of a campaign, then they will now know how to muzzle up the media and then be able to utilize their services. For now, I think the most important engagements are done by bloggers, social media influencers, and their own, what do they call it, their own media, because they have their own media. We have our own broadcasting media, we have our own television media. And the bottom line is that the traditional media and other aspects at times are being sidelined. So far is within the context of Anambra election. You know, it's not a national election, within Anambra. And Anambra is, we know ourselves now. And that's it, at times it will come like that. So it's not that the media is being marginalized. However, we also distinguish between the, as I said earlier, the what do you call it, the citizen journalism, and then the bloggers and the social media influencers and others. We put all of them together to become members of the media team of maybe a campaign organization. And this is the context we are going to look at.
I would have loved to look at it from that perspective, but I want to look at it from the perspective of the media that is unbiased, that is not influenced by party A, B, or C, the media that sees what the citizen journalist does, but also investigates to be sure that that is the news. Now, look at it this way. You did say that for the politician, it might be a bit expensive engaging the media at this point in time. But isn't the media supposed to also set the pace of this election? This election is going to mean a whole lot for the people of Anambra State. It's an opportunity for some to say we want to take a different direction. It's an opportunity for some to say where we are currently is the right place to be. So the media is supposed to have an offering where you are better informed to make the right choice. And if the media takes the back seat and waits for them to be engaged in terms of sponsorship and things like that, I don't really think we are going to get it right.
Analytically, from the point of view of the emergence, as I said, social media and what you call it, the new media and whatever you call it, citizen journalism, I think that aspect of the media is now trying to play, have more influence or better influence and opportunity to mobilize it, because there is a context within a given geographical spread, and it's not all that so much enlarged environment. As I said earlier, most candidates would also like to use face-to-face contact mobilizing campaigning, and some of them are doing it too, and would judge. The role of media at times would be stagnated, not giving a larger scope. Of course, you know that media for now, for some journalists, are expensive. You must do something to get something, and that is it. It could be a problem, or that some of them are waiting towards the dying minute to know what to do, and then engage in media. I think they are not sidelined or they are not marginalized. However, their impact is not so much felt because of the emergence of social media and social media influencers and bloggers. I think that is part
Yes, I want to agree with you, but it just occurred to me that for you to even get a social media influencer, you have to pay for it. For you to put up things with the bloggers, you also have to pay for it.
But I think it's not so much too expensive as you know. So we end up having a chat, having a lunch, and then transport. Then come again. And that enormous, of course, brown envelope of yes, I use, where journalists are settled. This time around, well, and of course, that things are very hard, as most people will tell you. Even some of the politicians will tell you that things are hard. It's not like the campaign we are running this show. So let's accommodate them, and let's look up. We are still in July, mid-July.
Yes.
We have how many? We still have almost 3-4 months. So there's still room for improvement.
Okay, I think what we will do, that is Dennis, you and I will do, is to let you go now, and we'll meet on Monday. By then we'll have more data on the continuous voter register, and then we'll also have more data on what happened during this weekend we're getting into concerning how the campaigns are shaping up. But I'll also want you to put at the back of your mind the fact that if the media does not rise up to its responsibility now, the same media will be held responsible for its failure in not playing its neutral role to enlighten the people and point them to the right direction.
I think this is a good assignment, and we'll live up to that expectation.
All right, then I look forward to hearing from you again on Monday on Southeast News. Thank you very, very much, Dr.
I'm so much
Dennis.
impressed for this opportunity
Amazing.
and for this enlightenment also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do have a great weekend.
Thank you. And same to you.
All right.
Every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.